Nobody expected a quarterback coming off an injury to outperform Mahomes, Stroud, and Josh Allen in practice. But J.J. McCarthy not only did that, he started changing the way the Vikings locker room is structured. Touchdowns came in bunches, and a statement from Justin Jefferson caught the attention of those on the field and those off it as well. Meanwhile, one receiver changed his physique, number, and mindset and began getting red zone snaps that weren't his before. Donovan Jackson started standing out in a way nobody on the coaching staff expected so soon, and the defense brought in tactical packages that hadn't even been tested during the regular season. There was also an unexpected absence, an uncomfortable interception, and internal decisions that didn't go unnoticed. Keep watching because what happened during the OTAs goes far beyond what made it to the... J.J. McCarthy arrived at the OTAs carrying the weight of leading the Vikings offense after missing an entire year due to injury and quickly became the focal point at the Tico Performance Center. His numbers were impressive from the very first practices: 110 completions in 127 attempts, 87% completion percentage, and 42 touchdowns, surpassing during this documented period other elite quarterbacks such as Josh Allen, 34 touchdowns, CJ Stroud, 33 touchdowns, Patrick Mahomes, 32 touchdowns, and Jaden Daniels, 30 touchdowns. Although McCarthy's numbers are outstanding, it's important to remember that not all data from the practices between May 27th and June 5th was available at the time of this video's release. But the data released so far regarding McCarthy already provides a solid foundation of technical progress and operational consistency. Internally, he has been described as a blend of prime Matthew Stafford and a faster Mahomes, combining arm strength with mobility and quick reading. For Justin Jefferson, who actively participated in the workouts, the young quarterback has Burrow's zip, but with more explosion. Around him, the offensive machinery started operating in sync. Donovan Jackson, a first-round rookie, took his spot next to Ryan Kelly and quickly showed adaptation to the professional environment. His ability to absorb protections and communicate clearly raised the overall performance of the offensive line. This early chemistry provided McCarthy with a more stable foundation to work on quick release and progressive reading concepts, key elements in his post-injury development. With different formations being tested from the very first sessions, the offensive line began showing signs of a solid structure capable of supporting the offensive plan designed by the coaching staff. The near-complete roster presence at the OTAs, highlighted by Kevin O'Connell as a rare advantage in the NFL, expanded the possibilities for tactical integration. With a high volume of repetitions, McCarthy was able to speed up his timing with his receivers, especially Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and Jalen Nailor, while the line adjusted cadence and simulated blitz recognition. Jackson, in turn, strengthened the interior line in sync with Kelly, helping to build a more cohesive unit. Even without full contact, the message was clear. The OTAs were not just about installing plays, but about building a new offensive identity based on cohesion and technical interdependence. But not all days were linear. In press open sessions, especially under winds of 15 to 20 miles per hour, McCarthy had moments of inconsistency. A pass intercepted by Isaiah Rodgers during a 7-on-7 drill, and some slow decisions in the red zone showed that the offensive assimilation process is still ongoing. These moments, however, were framed by O'Connell as a natural part of the teaching and learning phase. Instead of being seen as failures, they were treated as key points for technical and mental adjustments, essential for a quarterback still adapting to the professional rhythm. In parallel with the signal caller's development, the wide receiver group showed a variety of talents and profiles. Justin Jefferson, traditionally absent from OTAs, made it a point to attend in 2025. His connection with McCarthy, especially on deep and cross routes, was consistent from the first practices. Jordan Addison and Jalen Nailor, the latter noticeably stronger physically, were also actively involved. Naylor, in a contract year and wearing number 1, showed good separation on short routes, suggesting he could take on a more significant role if Addison faces suspension. The rookies Ty Felton and Robert Lewis, along with Rondale Moore and Lucky Jackson, added depth to a receiving core that appears built to handle a high volume of passing plays. The work in the backfields also reflected this tactical focus. The arrival of Jordan Mason, formerly with the 49ers, complements Aaron Jones' presence as a physical and explosive option on off-tackle runs. With the team finishing 24th in yards per carry and 29th in rushing touchdowns in 2024, the coaching staff appears determined to address these issues by incorporating more running variety in a stronger offensive line. Elements clearly emphasized through specific drills conducted during the OTAs. On defense, the highlights centered on the cornerback group. Isaiah Rodgers, a Super Bowl champion and recent addition, intercepted McCarthy on a route read intended for Jordan Addison, solidifying his role as a valuable piece in the defensive rotation. Alongside him, Jeff Okudah earned reps with the starting unit, being tested in man-to-man coverage scenarios, a key trait of Brian Flores' scheme. Mekhi Blackmon's partial absence as he continues to recover created opportunities to evaluate the versatility of these players in red zone situations and nickel packages. At the bottom of the offensive rotation, undrafted rookie Max Brosmer drew attention during red zone drills with quick throws and confident decisions, connecting with Miles Price and Ty Felton, although the competition for the QB3 spot against Brett Rypien remains unsettled. The trend suggests that Brosmer will stay in the mix to earn a spot on the practice squad if he maintains his consistency. The OTAs also served as a chance to observe the development of the team's internal culture. McCarthy didn't just train. He was active in film sessions after practice, reviewing his plays at 2 separate moments and discussing technical adjustments with the coaching staff. His daily routine, from nutrition to extra sessions with coaches, was described as nearly ideal level by analysts close to the staff. This profile, combined with his leadership behavior behind the scenes, engaging with veterans and rookies alike, is starting to build the perception that the young quarterback is preparing not only to play, but to lead. Although McCarthy's numbers are impressive, it's important to remember that not all data from the practices between May 27th and June 5th was available at the time of this video's release. The information released so far, however, already shows a clear upward trend in efficiency and offensive control. By the end of this observed OTA period, even without pads and full contact, the Vikings' offensive structure appears more cohesive than in previous years. The offensive line rebuild is ahead of schedule. The connection between quarterback and receivers is strengthening, and the signs of commitment from key players reinforce the idea of a roster ready to compete. Within this landscape, J.J. McCarthy, Donovan Jackson, and Justin Jefferson stand out as the core of an offense seeking not only fluidity, but stability. The structural consistency seen in the Vikings OTAs extends beyond the offensive unit. The defense, coordinated by Brian Flores, also used the period to test hybrid formations and integrate players with a history of physical inconsistency, such as Jeff Okudah. Although his professional career has been uneven, appearing in just 34 games over 4 seasons, the staff saw potential in his athletic traits when deployed in aggressive coverage packages. Alongside Isaiah Rodgers, who showed excellent route anticipation and reading ability, the secondary began developing a new identity. Byron Murphy Jr. remained a figure of stability, while Mekhi Blackmon, still physically limited, is projected to regain a starting role during training camp. Amid the defensive movements, one point stood out: Will Fry's absence from practice. Despite his integration being part of the tactical plan, he was kept in parallel activities alongside other players in recovery phases, such as Rondale Moore and rookie tight end Gavin Bartholomew. However, Fry's absence did not disrupt the offensive line's rhythm as practices continued with reps distributed among the top rotation candidates, a sign that the team is testing depth early on. The breakdown of offensive drills also revealed important nuances. Among the routes used, the dig routes and crosser concepts stood out, producing solid connections, especially between McCarthy and Jefferson. The use of short bootlegs and quick passes in third and short situations highlighted an offensive tempo built on fast releases, favoring the quarterback's decision-making and reducing exposure to sacks, a key concern given the team's 27th ranking in sack percentage allowed in 2024. In building this new offensive machinery, players like wide receivers Ty Felton and Jashawn Jones have been frequently tested in depth packages. Jones, an undrafted free agent from last season, had positive moments, beating defenders like Jay Ward in one-on-one situations. His chemistry with Sam Howell during backup reps reinforces the idea that the coaching staff is focused on maintaining versatility among receivers outside the top three. Wideouts Jones, Lucky Jackson, and Robert Lewis have alternated snaps with the second group and are positioning themselves as potential rotational options if injuries or suspensions affect the starters. On the other hand, Jalen Nailor's name has come up frequently in internal evaluations. Beyond noticeable physical changes, increased muscle mass, and the switch from number 83 to number 1, Nailor stood out as a functional piece in the red zone, even when facing tight coverage. During connection attempts with McCarthy, he was challenged by Jeff Okudah and other defensive backs, but showed precision in route breaks and aggressiveness at the point of contact. The overall atmosphere of the 2025 Vikings OTAs reveals not only competition, but cohesion. Players like Harrison Phillips, a veteran on the defensive line, highlighted McCarthy's role as a culture builder. Reports of his off-field demeanor, meetings with rookies, active participation in playbook discussions, and extra treatment and film sessions help reinforce the image of a quarterback who not only performs, but leads. Phillips even compared McCarthy directly to Josh Allen, emphasizing not just talent, but awareness of the impact his leadership can have in the locker room. From a technical standpoint, the practices also served as a showcase for more complex defensive concepts, with packages featuring Dallas Turner, Jonathan Greenard, and Andrew Van Ginkel together in third down situations. The absence of Pat Jones-Sekou creates an opening for Flores to deploy formations based on pressure from multiple edge rushers aiming to speed up front evaluations. Even at a reduced pace, the tactical signals already point to a defense designed to be more disruptive in clear passing situations. The depth in the quarterback group also had room for evaluation. Sam Howell actively participated in drills with the second-team receivers, while Max Brosmer, an undrafted rookie, showed solid anticipation during red zone repetitions. Although it's still early for concrete projections, Brosmer has positioned himself as a name to watch for the coaching staff, particularly due to his quick release and accuracy in tight windows. Regarding the consistency of the statistics, it's important to reiterate, the data presented so far, including the notable 42 touchdowns and 87% completion rate from McCarthy, covers documented sessions between May 27th and June 5th, but does not include all practices within that window. There are gaps in the records which prevent any definitive conclusions about the quarterback's total production or that of the offensive unit. Nevertheless, the available sample already establishes a solid baseline of progress and technical adjustment. Justin Jefferson, at the end of one of the media open sessions, summed up the team's mindset. It's the kind of preparation that can make a difference in the details during the season. His decision to attend the OTAs, uncommon in previous years, reflects what the locker room seems to embody: collective purpose. Rather than fragmented or scattered workouts, the structure in place indicates a group seeking consistency from the earliest stages, even within a no-contact environment. After completing this partial cycle of activities, the Vikings have left meaningful impressions. There is a clear plan being executed, led by a quarterback on the rise and supported by a coaching staff that has built a roster with multiple tactical layers. The impact of players like Donovan Jackson and Isaiah Rodgers, the integration of rookies, and the technical leadership shown by figures such as Jefferson and McCarthy paint a picture that, even while still taking shape, signals readiness for the next phases of the offseason. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.